So I know I'm not normally one to make reviews on snipers, but my brother got this in a trade. It is a Amoeba, ARES Amoeba Stryker sniper is what they call it. Now these retail for about $180, $190, and they're actually pretty solid guns. So I'm not really into snipers. I know some people are, so this is kind of a review for you guys. And I've got some pretty good things to say about it. So let's start from the back and go to the front. So this whole stock, I'll just start off by saying the whole stock's plastic. Polymer, actually. It's a pretty nice polymer. It really is reminiscent of Magpul. Even the gun looks Magpul. Like if Magpul made a sniper or a body kit for a sniper, this would be it. It does have a sling mount right here, and you can switch it to the other side with the bolts, which is pretty cool. So it is ambi, technically. You just have to switch it over. Again, this is all plastic. There is a storage compartment right here, which is actually pretty neat. You just have to hit the lip there, pull it off. You have the Allen wrench for the hop-up, and then the Allen wrench to take the two screws out to pull the gun apart. Trigger guard here is plastic. It also has a magazine release right here on the trigger guard. You can see that it's connected to this one, so you have a paddle like an AK or like an MP5, and then you have this one that you can use your finger for, and it is ambi. It's on both sides of the trigger guard, and then obviously in the middle it's also ambi. And they are drop free, so if you really need to reload quick, you can do that, and then just pop a new one in there. The magazine, let's talk about the mag. This thing is beefy. It's a 338 Win Mag for the replica, I guess you could say, of the rifle. It does have the Amoeba logo on it. It only holds 55 rounds, which I actually find kind of disappointing because this thing is massive. I mean, this is probably the size of, oh, I don't know, you like a Vietnam style M4 mag is smaller than this, and those fit over 100 rounds because I have a couple of those magazines. So kind of disappointing that it only holds 55, but I get it because it's a sniper. I just wish that it had a little bit more. I feel like it'd make the gun more usable. The magazine has its own mag well here, as you can see. The top of the gun is aluminum, and it is completely metal. It's a nice aluminum. It's got a finish on it, like a rough, what do they call it, matte finish, which is nice. It's got some markings over here. Amoeba Arms Stryker. On the top here, it says Amoeba Arms Cal 338 Win, which stands for Win Mag. It's got a serial number on the top. It's also referred to as the AS01. The hop-up is right here. Has plus or minus actually engraved on the rail itself, which is incredibly useful because you know, just like I'm sure me, a lot of you guys would forget which direction is up, which direction's down. It's pretty clearly marked there on the rail itself. The handguard is plastic. I think it twists off because when it was sent, it was in multiple pieces, and I think I even assembled it for my brother, but I can't remember. It was a long time ago. The sling mount on the front is missing the ring. I would assume it comes with a ring or some sort of part to clip in here so that you can actually mount a sling too, because you're not going to be able to hook a sling to this little nub. You have to use some sort of external device. Now the barrel's actually pretty short on this gun. This is probably, what, 16 inches? I'd say 16-inch barrel, which is like, you know, AR-15s for real firearms legally have to be 16 inches. So just imagine an AR-15 that you're legally able to have with an adjustable stock and you don't have to have a brace on it. That's kind of how long this looks. Could be longer, could be shorter, but just as perception, that's my guess. It does have a black tip on here. This is aftermarket, or it might come with the gun. Anyone that has this gun, feel free to comment in the comment section and tell me what you think about it or anything that I skipped over, because I don't know much about snipers at all. Now, what's really cool about this gun, I'm going to go ahead and eject the mag. Unfortunately, it does drop BBs when you take the mag out. Now, the bolt on here only goes back halfway, as you can see there. Maybe a little bit more than halfway. And it uses a standard AEG spring, believe it or not, which is awesome because you can use springs. They're very readily available for one, and you might already have spares. Now this gun only comes at 400 FPS out of the box. That's the readings that I was getting. This is stock, and that's what eBike says as well. So 400 FPS is a little low for a sniper, but you can always switch out the spring, and I would recommend that. Most fields allow 500, even upwards of 550 for snipers, for bolt actions. Now, chrono-wise, again, it did shoot 400 with the 2, and I was getting 1.6 joules with a 3, which is actually pretty decent. Like an AEG would be like 1.55 with a 3 if it was shooting 400, give or take. Maybe a little bit higher, a little bit lower, depending on the gun. But an HPA would be shooting 1.7 with the 3 if it was shooting 400 with the 2. So this is like right in between the AEG and the HPA jewel creep sort of thing. So I'm not sure how the FPS translates. What I mean by that is an M120 does about 400 with the .2 and an AEG, give or take barrel length. So this might be a 120 inside of here because it is shooting 400, but it might not be a 120. It's hard to tell. I don't think ARES has it marked like on their box or on the website. It just says it shoots 400. So I don't know if anybody has some tips. Like, let's say you've bought this gun and your field allows 500. What spring did you use? So that's what I'm curious about. I would imagine a 140 and an M140 for an AEG would probably get 500, I would say, with a .2. But you're going to have to maybe get couple different springs. If I were to buy this gun and I didn't know, I would buy a couple different springs. I'd buy probably a 130, a 140, probably what I'd buy, just to test them both out. Again, the bolt doesn't go back super far, but it's still not super easy to pull back. It's somewhat smooth, but it's a little tight, which means the tolerances are probably nice and tight, which is a good thing. But lube up in here might help this bolt cycle a little bit better. Also, I've noticed pinching your finger up in here when you close the bolt happens all the time. It is a huge pain. It hurts. The bolt handle is kind of small, so when you go to cock it, you're gonna, generally you want to put your hand all the way up to get more support, so you're not just pulling back the small handle, because these can break. But since it is tight, if you pull it back and slam it forward right away, it's going to pinch you. So what I recommend doing is pulling it back. You might have to adjust your grip on it when you push it forward. So that is one con about the gun that I do not like at all, because I pinched myself a couple times. As far as the hop of effectiveness, I would say if you bought this gun and you upgraded it to 500, maybe 550, I would say use 3.6s. But out of the box, shooting 400, stick with .3s. That's what I'm going to shoot through it. Stick with .3s if you're just going to shoot 400. But if you're going to shoot 500, I would do 3.6s. And if you're going to shoot 550, I'd probably do 4s. That would be me. Some people like to use 4.6s and get just outrageously heavy BBs, and I think that's kind of stupid. The insanely heavy BBs are really, really, really expensive, but some people just swear by them, that, you know, it fights the wind so well. I like some speed on my BB, personally, and if you're using like 3.6s and those sort of weights, maybe 4s, your BB's still going to get some speed. But if you're using like 4.6s, man, your BB's just kind of barely going out there. Now, granted, it's going to carry a lot of energy onto it, but it just is slower. But with a 3.6 or with this shooting 400 using a 3, the BB's pretty quick. I do have it overhopped. I don't have a scope on it, obviously. If I played with it, I would definitely mount an optic. Yeah, it goes pretty far. Yeah, it hits pretty decently hard. I would never shoot this low of FPS on a bolt sniper. Also, I'm pretty sure most major milsims, like national ones, allow 550, if not a little bit higher, with bolt snipers. Again, with the small bolt handle, it's not easy to shoot quick. It's actually easier to cock it shooting left-handed. yeah, shoots pretty good, guys. Again, it does have this compartment here with the Allen wrench, and I think I actually want to turn the hop up just a little bit. One of my favorite snipers that I've shot, and it definitely has more potential than most spring snipers, again, because it does have the, it's got an external magazine that holds a decent amount. It uses standard AEG springs. It's nice and light. That's something I did not mention. I mean, this thing is like maybe 4 pounds, maybe 5, probably between 4 and 5 pounds with not a scope on it. If you put a scope on here, it's still light as heck, and it'd probably be about 6 pounds, I would imagine, and maybe a bipod, you know, a little bit more weight. But some of those snipers, man, get like pretty heavy. Now, most like VSRs and those sort of guns are pretty light, but some of the other more unique designs, sniper rifles, are very, very heavy. So, if you have any questions or anything, let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next video.